Hello and welcome. Today we are inside of a 2011 Nissan Altima 2.5SL. This is going to be a features review, so I'll show you all the quirks and features of this car. So, to start, this car has a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, producing 175 horsepower and about 180 pound-feet of torque. This does have a manual gauge cluster, as you can see. This particular car has about 87,000 miles. This car has a full leather interior of all the seats and all the trim. Much of the interior is soft touch materials, along with some fake wood trim and the occasional pop of chrome. This car is mated with a continuously variable transmission, or CVT, which also allows you here to select simulated gears, if you so choose. This car also has heated front seats with 2 levels, high and low heating adjustments. It also has a center cubby where you can close it, and in there it has the typical 9-volt port, but it also has a nice carpeted bottom. This car has a full power sunroof, as you can see here. It has a vent function as well as a full open function. It is about 14 degrees, so I am not going to be opening that today. This car does not have an infotainment system or a backup camera, as it is a 2011. If you bought the top trim SEL trim of this Altima, you could have gotten that option. But it has the standard radio, it has dual zone climate control for both the passenger and the driver, as you can see here. And it also has, for the center armrest, it actually will ratchet out so you can make it more comfortable if you choose to rest your elbow as you drive. The visibility outside of this car is actually very good. Current cars use a lot more of a sloping roof line, so the rear visibility is impacted greatly, but in this car it has a very open feel, with very good visibility throughout, even out the rear. Let's go see what the back seat is like. So I'm about 6 feet tall, and my knees do bump up against this front seat, excuse me, but this is because the seat is as far back as it goes. If I were to sit over there, I would have a bit more room. This does have a center armrest back here with space for 2 drinks. It also has a rear air conditioning or heating vent, but no heated seats or reclining seats back here. This car does have a full power driver's seat with lumbar support, where the passenger seat is only manual adjustment. This car, in the day-to-day driving it, it does have a pretty sluggish transmission. It tends to shudder a lot. You'll be like rocking back and forth slightly when you are getting up to speed in the beginning, but it does even out eventually, because the CVT works on a pulley and tensioning system, so it's actually simulating gears however the computer sees fit. But that means it scrambles around throughout its algorithm back and forth between simulated gears very often in the beginning of driving. The handling of this car is surprisingly sporty. It has a good firm suspension with still a soft enough ride, and it has a very heavy steering feel, so it does give you a lot of road feedback and it makes you feel very confident driving it. There is slight body roll, but nothing more than excessive. It is a pretty stable car to drive through corners. This is only a front-wheel drive car. During this generation, it was not offered in all-wheel drive. And this car does have a very short throw brake pedal. It does have a very short travel distance, is probably a better way to say that. It does not have automatic headlights. That is available, I believe, on the SEL trim, the one above this. And the bottom trim of this car with cloth seats is the S trim, and also they had a SR trim where they included more sporty seats, whereas these seats have adequate bolstering for the body up top, but down below the seats are a bit too wide to allow for any sporty driving of this car. The acceleration of this car, I will post the 0 to 60 time down below, but it is not very good, I would assume, because the CVT causes it to be driven as if it's in economy mode. Even if you put your foot to the floor, it puts a RPM ceiling around 4,000 RPM for a very long time, so it is hard to redline this car if you were to try to. But typically you don't need it, it's quick enough in the day-to-day. Would I recommend this car? I would, because it is a great family hauler, it has great visibility, and it competes directly with the Toyota Camry and the Honda Accord, as well as the Ford Fusion of this time. But I believe this has the best visibility out of any of them. And it is a very sporty driving experience versus the Camry and the Fusion of the same era. Thank you for watching.